Hi, I'm Rasheed Ogunlaru, coach, speaker and author. And many of you might know actually part of my background is also as a singer. So I'm glad to be talking about something today which involves music. I'm here, I'm so delighted in fact to be here with Professor Renee Timmers. Professor Renee is involved in music and a very interesting international survey which is being undertaken at the moment, which is all about music, Covid-19, stress, anxiety, and how we're all coping during the times that we're in. Professor Renee, tell us all about it.
Hi, Rasheed. Thank you for having me and doing this interview. I'm really very delighted to do this and be able to talk about our project. So indeed, this is a project that was started in Israel, and now we're actually we're going to distribute it across the many countries in the world. We're targeting 13 countries, so we have collaborators in these countries, and we have translations in different languages. So this this study looks at the well-being needs that people encounter when as part of lockdown, but also in the face of COVID-19. So maybe having the disease or caring for people who have it. So, and then what kind of activities they do at home, and maybe virtually, maybe together as the lockdown measures enable, to address those challenges, so those well-being challenges.
And so I understand that you're wanting people to get involved in this, and I understand there's a survey. So there's this global survey across hopefully 13 countries, and I understand you're wanting 500 participants per country. So talk us through the kind of person that you're looking for and how people can get involved.
Yeah, we really would like to reach out to anyone who is over 18. So we do have this kind of age limit, but otherwise it should be really anyone who is interested. And we got some really nice responses from participants who felt cared for to actually do this survey, that they could explain to us what were the pressing issues that they're dealing with, but also some of their strategies to cope with it. So it is, I mean, everyone has their own ways, and actually, well, after months dealing with this, we are now maybe getting quite good at it. But other things can be maladaptive too. So maybe looking too much at the news, or always, well, having those kind of behaviors that actually introduce more stress than relieve it. So those are important too. And we'll have a list, and you can say, actually, this prevents me to become, better in well-being. It actually hurts a little.
I see.
So, yeah.
So it could be anybody who's over 18. Anybody who's been impacted by COVID-19, as you said, so it might either be that they've just either lived through lockdown, or that perhaps they've had COVID-19, or they haven't, or they've maybe had somebody in family, or not, they've just been impacted around it. And then you'll be asking them a range of questions in this survey about what their coping strategies, what they've done, and whether it's helped or not.
Yes, indeed, yeah. So it's quite a simple questionnaire. It just lists things and you have to rate it. So there's no difficulty in answering it, but it will be insightful for us to get a range of people. So different ages, different degrees of lockdown. So maybe people have actually not done it much. So they actually they were a key worker, or they had other, they lived in a situation that gave them quite a lot of freedom, or maybe people indeed living alone and being really isolated.
And it's interesting, I just want to ask a little bit about the music side of this, because this wonderful collaboration, I understand that Professor Ronnie Granot's been behind that at the Hebrew University in Jerusalem. And then of course, there at the Department of Music at Sheffield University, you've been interested in this. Is this because you're really curious to find out that what role music plays as well as everything else? Because often I mean, as somebody who's a singer and performer myself, part of my background, I was recording an album just before lockdown, and I had to stop. And for me, I knew I needed to, as a listener, listen to music and work on music too. So what was the interest of yourselves specialising in music in this particular piece of research? Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah. So music is indeed one of the activities that we're listing. And as you say, we are specifically interested in music. We believe that music has a lot of, well, brings together lots of things that are beneficial for well-being. So especially if you dance to it, then you also have the physical exercise, or you make it, you have the concentration that brings it, and the kind of attention that goes to it. But basically it's for mood management. So to yeah, you can choose the music. There are lots of varieties of music, so you can fine tune it to the kind of emotion that you're actually experiencing and that you would like to express or maybe move into. It has an identity to it. So with these lockdown measures, you're also being isolated in the sense that you can't express the normal things that you're doing and that are part of who you are. So maybe through music you can transport yourself into those other situations that, well, you can create the atmosphere of a cafe, something you enjoy, or maybe some countries that you visited in the past. So there are so many different ways in which you can engage with music. And this flexibility, and then the emotion, physicality, and concentration, I think that's a powerful mix.
It's a very powerful mix. And I was just thinking whilst you were speaking there that early on during lockdown, certainly here in the UK, and I think all around in other parts of the world, actually definitely in other parts of the world, because I saw videos from various parts of the world, lots of people also were sharing music, or musicians were making lockdown kind of songs, and lots of people were turning songs around for comfort or humor or satire around COVID-19. So it's interesting as music as a kind of coping strategy. But tell us, I'm just curious about what's your hope? So once you've got hopefully 500 people from 13 countries to complete these surveys, tell us what's next.
Yeah, so we hope to be able to identify, well, the challenges that different groups of people have. So just getting more insight in, depending on age, on social situation, what are then the pressing needs? And then indeed, what are the working strategies and things that might not be as successful? And then, well, you can see it as sharing best practice. So what people came up with and how we can disseminate that. But maybe also to be better prepared for next time. And I mean, again, it is something that we all do. But on the other hand, there's still scope for doing it in a way that really supports you. So it's not, although everyone does it, there's still a skill that can be, expertise that can be learned from actually doing it even better.
And I'd imagine it's going to be really interesting. Lots of us know what we do individually, isn't it, to cope with these things. So it'll be interesting seeing what the research actually present, what people are turning to, what percentage of people turn to what particular activities to help them. And then you'll be publishing the research presumably in the future, so people will be able to find out if they're really keen to.
Yeah, indeed. So we're publishing it, of course, in journals, but also we have created some videos that are illustrating uses of music for well-being. So how people in families can do that, use music with their children, for example, for social bonding or for emotional awareness, or maybe for negative emotion venting. So we illustrate them on our website as well through short videos.
Brilliant. And speaking of your website, that's a lovely link, because if people want to get involved, they can go to your website to find out. And I'll post below this a link to that website, but it's on the University of Sheffield website in a special area, isn't it, of that site that people will be able to find it. One last question, just to you, people have got in today's world where people have got so many things to do. How long approximately do you think it will take people to fill in this survey? Because we want to try and encourage people to fill it in. How long do you think it will take them to fill in?
Yeah, it should be taking 12 to 15 minutes. So it's a little bit lengthy because we also like to know about the people. So we not only the main questions, but actually a little bit more information, so we can know how it works for different people. This is quite crucial for us. So we do like to have some personality questions as well.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. That's just wonderful to hear. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Professor Renee Timmers from the Department of Music there at Sheffield University, as part of this broader project in partnership with the Hebrew University in Jerusalem, and spanning around the world, 13 countries. Just before you go, can you tell us any of the other countries involved, just in case somebody's watching it here and thinking, oh, is my country involved?
Yes,
tell me if you can list some of them. I'm not going to put you on the spot to name them all, but if you can list more than any of them.
So we have, it's Spain. So the questionnaire is in Spanish, in Chinese, so China, Portuguese, Norwegian, Dutch. Yeah, there are some more questions in Hebrew, of course. So that gives Spain, Argentina, Colombia.
Got you. And of course, English as well. So
and English.
Yeah.
And so the US is also involved. We have a separate one in the US.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Well, wonderful. Thank you so much. Well, that's going to cover a lot of the globe, so lots of people are going to be able to get involved with those languages spoken. Thank you so much for your time. Looking forward to the results, and good luck with the research. Take good care, and thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you very much.